I'm Jacob Perry, Regional Catering Manager of the Wrekin Housing Group. What a disappointment we haven't got the Shrewsbury Flower Show this year on the 14th and 15th of August. But the good news is we're coming to you bigger and better next year on the 13th and 14th. So what I'm going to do today, folks, is a basic, short and simple pancake recipe. Got my pans on the stove. One I'm heating up for my batter mix, and a second that I'm going to make a crepe Suzette sauce, so a typical French style addition to the pancakes. So in a typical pancake, self-raising flour, some eggs and some milk. Simple as that. If you wanted to, you could turn them into American style pancakes, the addition of some baking powder, a touch of caster sugar. And then when it comes to the sauce, a little bit of brandy or Grand Marnier, a little bit of butter, some sugar and orange juice, and that will give us a nice caramelised orange sauce. So without further ado, flour into the mixing bowl, a couple of eggs. When you're doing the standard pancake recipe mix, this can all be mixed in all together. 170 grams of self-raising flour, 2 eggs, about a pint of milk, but I'm going to put 3/4 in first to see what the consistency is, and then add a little bit as I need it. So this nice mix up doesn't matter too much if it's a little bit lumpy, because as the pancakes cook out, the flour mixture will come out anyway. So as you can see, that's still a little bit thick, so we're just going to add some more of the milk now. If we were doing the American style pancakes, we'd use about 200 grams of self-raising flour. We'd then add some baking powder, bit of caster sugar, some melted butter and some milk. So you're going to have like a thicker consistency there with the American pancakes. They take a little bit longer to cook, but what we've got now is we've got a nice loose sauce. As a famous chef once said, here's some I made earlier. So we've got the 2 pans on the go there. So we're just going to add a little bit of oil into the one. But that's going to be our pancake one. And then I'm just going to take the crepe Suzette pan off the stove and add about 100 grams of butter, just to melt that down. Cooking's all about planning, preparation and then presentation. We eat with our eyes. So discard the oil out of the pan, give your egg mixture a good old whisk, and then you're just going to put a little ladle into the pan. Not too much, because you can always add, but you can't take away. Spread it around. You don't want too thick a consistency, because the pancakes will be really heavy. Unless you're doing the American ones, that's what you're looking at trying to achieve. So our butter's just melting there. Taking it off the heat because we don't want it to burn. If it's burn, you're going to get that bitter taste. So that we're going to add the sugar. And we want that to caramelise down a little bit now. Now we're going to put that back on the heat, just to bring up to temperature and caramelise. Pancake there, just starting to bubble. We'll leave it a minute or two, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be able to toss it. Right then, so that butter and sugar is just caramelising. We want that to get a nice and kind of hot. Be careful, because once that does get hot, you know, it will spit a little bit. Be careful, because you don't want to kind of burn yourself. Right, the pancakes just starting to bubble there. That's lovely. We're just going to give, because it's the first one, a little bit of a nudge around the edge, but that oil should have prevented it from sticking anyway. It's looking okay. So now we'll just see if we can toss that. Oh yeah, a bit too much. That's okay. Just a little bit caramelised, but the first one's always a bit of a trial anyway. The beauty of these pancakes here is, if you haven't put the sugar in, you can use these as a savoury pancake. And they will, you'll be able to add some cheese and bacon, a bit like an oatcake, and have it as a brunch option. Right, that's one pancake. We'll just do another one. Add a bit more oil into there. Okay, now the butter and sugar is starting to caramelise, so we're just going to try and tilt that a little bit now over the edge of the pan. We just want to see a little bit of that edge of the pan, get a little bit more intense heat there, and then we're going to flambe it. Some French terminology. Just going to do one more pancake. So, Wrekin Housing Group. So, largest housing association in the West Midlands. I oversee all the Shire Living cafes that we've got throughout the schemes. We've got two down in Shrewsbury, one called Withywood on the Ellesmere Road, and one called the Coppice at Picton Heath. So we have a team of chefs there that are providing meals on a day-to-day basis for the residents. Right, okay, I think there's plenty of heat in there now. So we're going to do some flambé now. If you are having the family helping out at this point, make sure that, you know, it is an adult that is kind of doing this part here, because the flame will be quite, you know, quite intense. I'm going to flame this with some brandy. So I'm creating heat at the edge of the pan. I'm standing back a little bit. I'm going to put a splash of the brandy in, then stand right back, and we should get a flambé effect. There we go. Now, what we want to do is cook that alcohol out. It's gone already. Now we're going to add some nice fresh orange juice. So there we go, that's quite theatrical. What chefs like doing these kind of theatrical little bits with our cooking from time to time. So we're just reducing this down a little bit now. So I'm just going to turn the heat down a touch. Second pancake, should be able to turn this one. No, I'm not, so it needs just another little nudge. Flip it over, nice and easy. As you can see, nice and colour. Sit that on there for a few seconds. Just going to add a touch more butter to the sauce. Just reducing nicely. So what we're going to do, you can either serve them straight away so they're nice and hot. Well, these pancakes, you can actually, once they cook like that, you can freeze those down safely. When they come out, leave them out in the fridge for an hour or two, let them come to room temperature, and then all we're going to do is just fold them into quarter, drop them carefully into our sauce, and that will just bring a little bit more heat into them. Drop those in like that. Right, okay. I'm going to bring my pancakes over to here now. I'm going to put two on here, carefully, just drain a bit of that sauce off. And then we're just going to add a little bit more of the sauce over the top. You just see that nice, deep, rich colour. A couple of those nice fresh raspberries that I've picked from home. Ladies and gentlemen, there we go, that's a crepe Suzette. 3 or 4 minutes. Please stay safe. Use your PPE, gloves, face masks, hand gel where required, and look forward to seeing you next year. Thank you.